Coffee. One of the obsessions of, well, you could find anywhere in the world. It is something that just fuels us, right? Not all of us like coffee, of course, but those who do usually love it. It is a very important part of some people's days, right? It's what gets them going. So we're looking at how bad coffee took over America. Well, I tend to like coffee a lot. I have a lot of different variety of coffees, different places, different brews at home. But I tell you what, maybe I don't know any better. Maybe I'm having bad coffee. I know some of our subscriber base, of course, from Australia, loves to claim they have the best coffee, and I bet it's really, really good. But I also wonder, why is it so good? How would it be 100 times better than coffee over here in America, over here in the United States, like some people claim? Well, let's try and find out. Hopefully this video is informative. Let's see what they say.
I mean, like 90% of the coffee that's consumed.
By the way, I always forget, this is from Cheddar, so be linked in the description down below so you can watch the whole thing uninterrupted. Click the link down there. All right, here we go.
Is bad coffee.
No. I don't really love it, which is the nice way of saying I hate it.
Yeah, it's bitter. Okay, bad.
Gotcha.
So my favorite cup of coffee is from the street cart right outside of my apartment. I mean, we all have our go-to spots for a good cup of coffee, whether it's because it's cheapest, fastest, or we just like the taste the best.
My go-to spot for coffee is a independent place with like $4 cold brew.
Probably Starbucks, just because I live in New York and there's one on almost every block.
Starbucks closest.
I gotta respectfully disagree, man. I cannot stand Starbucks coffee. Cannot stand it. It's bad.
To the office.
Starbucks.
Opinions aside, it got me wondering, what makes an objectively good cup of coffee?
Yeah, what does make a good
Objectively
cup of coffee?
speaking, a good cup of coffee is sourced well, roasted well, and has a balanced flavor.
Okay.
A bad cup of coffee is the opposite. It's the opposite of everything I just said, right? The majority of people that drink
Gotcha.
coffee drink bad coffee.
Okay.
The percentage of people that drink good coffee is under 10%.
And that's
Wow.
because Americans never really drank good coffee in the first place.
Right. So we don't know any better. That's the consensus here.
So we are doing a taste test, and there are 3 levels of quality, which are low, medium, and high. We are basically going to smell the grounds, drink the coffee, and then compare. Let's
Okay.
see who can pick out the good coffee and who's been conditioned to like bad coffee.
Wow, that's like someone put a piece of charcoal in water and said, here, there you
Oh,
go.
that's not fun.
So this one just tastes like, yeah, acrid and bitter and burnt.
It's very watery. It doesn't
That's
go
not
down
good.
smooth. It's sort of a sharp taste.
I don't want to finish drinking this small amount, let alone a whole
Wow.
cup that's not like drowned out
That's
with
pretty
milk
bad.
and sugar.
I gotta admit, yeah, I don't like watery coffee. You want to have coffee to have a strong, rich flavor. Of course, not overbearing, but you want it to know you're drinking coffee. You don't want water that's colored brown.
I can't. That tastes
Right.
worse and worse and worse. Did I like that at one point?
Ultimately, while most people think coffee is subjective, it is not. It either
Wow.
is or it isn't.
Okay.
Like restaurants
There's a
in New York
science
City
to
have a
this.
set grading system, coffee has its own grading system as well.
No kidding.
All
Okay.
coffee is graded by certified Q graders, who are certified by the Coffee Quality Institute.
Wow.
They had to take the equivalent
This is a real job here. This is crazy.
of the
Okay.
bar exam for coffee and analyze
No
coffee
kidding.
through a process called cupping.
It is based on a number of components. So those components are all graded, and if a coffee scores an 80 or above, it is considered a specialty grade coffee.
Wow.
There's a line
okay.
that happens at specialty, and anything that falls below it, it's so bad, right? It tastes so bad. The majority of franchises serve below specialty grade coffee.
Okay. Wow, if Starbucks is medium quality, then wow, maybe I have been drinking decent coffee. Theirs is just, it's not even drinkable to me. It's so bad, in my opinion, and it's medium quality. I would have guessed it was low. So, dang.
Yeah, that one's a lot better. It's a lot less acidic. It does not taste like what I'd imagine like garbage juice to taste like.
This one tastes a little more watered down, I think.
I hate it less.
Uh,
The aftertaste's kind of nice. It's definitely way better than that was. This is okay.
For right now, people are drinking terrible coffee and they have absolutely no idea how bad it is.
And it has a lot to do with marketing. 100% Arabica beans sounds like it's promising a really good cup of coffee, when really it's just promising not to be the absolute worst.
okay.
The language that people use,
Have words, right? Like bold and dark.
Right.
Well, who's using that? Who's using those words? It's not us. We're not using those words. We become so accustomed to this language that we don't know anything else.
Until
Yeah, marketing is its own genius. It's its own industry, right? I feel like, I'm sure there's sayings to go with this too. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but something along the lines with, I'm sure you could, if you marketed well enough, you could sell a totally crap product to someone, right? As long as you market it right. And if you sold it, you did your job, you win. It doesn't matter at that point if they like it later on. You sold it, you win. And that's marketing, right? You can sell anything if you know how to do it right. In the coffee world here, at least for maybe Americans, when they're at the store looking for coffee, and they mentioned like the bold, the dark, in big letters on the packaging. The average person who isn't a coffee connoisseur, they just know they want coffee. They see bold, dark, 100%, Arabica beans. In reality, if you're a coffee expert, like these guys, they might not be fooled by that. But the average person might just think, hey, I see big adjectives. There you go. I'm going to buy it. And that's funny that you can basically trick a percentage of people. Adjectives. That's it. Throw some adjectives on there. There, you got marketing.
Until the Boston Tea Party in 1773,
Pretty funny.
America was a tea country.
That's
But
right,
during the
back
American
then.
Revolution, a large number of Americans switched to coffee because tea had become unpatriotic when it really started to become popular. Instant coffee started making the rounds during World War I. American soldiers were drinking the coffee daily to increase mental awareness and mobility during battle, and they needed something to make quickly in the field. This instant fix became addicting, and when soldiers went
yeah.
home, they wanted something familiar and tasty.
Before they even continue, this seems to be a theme on a lot of subjects that have to do with products in America or in the United States specifically. It's pretty funny that a lot of it has to do with pre-war or like after World War II. Something was established because of, certain scenarios and certain restrictions or need for something during war. And then it stuck. It's stuck, right? After it was all over and times, returned back to quote unquote normal, they wanted to keep that, what they were used to. That's like a very, relevant trait, it seems like, of the United States. It was changed and done a certain way, pre-war or during the wars, and it just stayed that way. They never went back to a different way of doing things. So instant coffee, probably not the best quality. And but who cares? It's coffee. It's instant. It's easy, and it made sense for war. But then afterwards, let's not craft our palate to nice quality coffees. Let's just stick with the instant coffee. It's what we know. And 6, 7, 8 decades later, still doing the same thing.
But as we all know, instant coffee isn't exactly high quality coffee.
Cup of coffee, and you taste it. You don't know any better that it's a delicious cup of coffee. You're going to go, oh, interesting. But then you have a feeling to it, right? And so we become accustomed to the warmth of it, to the caffeine high that we get from it.
Right.
We can become conditioned to that.
So this wave of instant coffee that entered
can
the
see
homes
that.
of millions across America was known as the first wave of coffee. The second wave of coffee came with the creation of Starbucks coffee in 1971. They introduced fresh roasted coffee beans to the mass public and started to change the public's expectations when it came to coffee. According to today's standards, Starbucks doesn't have the absolute best cup of coffee. But at the time, this was the best coffee that was accessible to the mass public.
Okay.
Starbucks cemented America's coffee drinking culture.
So they were at the right place in the right time back then, right? But clearly they're not the best. Probably never were like the best quality coffee. But at the time, they got market share before anyone else thought of it.
And paved the way for the modern specialty coffee industry to exist today. Which leads us to the third wave of coffee shops that are happening today. Smaller, independently owned specialty coffee shops are on the rise.
Yeah.
From harvesting and roasting to the cup that's handed to you at the counter. These shops and roasters are paying special attention to the product that's being delivered.
Yeah, that's why I don't know any better. I'm really admitting that. I'm not a coffee connoisseur. I'm not a coffee expert, so I don't claim to be. Just keep that in mind. But, yeah, jokes aside, with all the franchises, I understand they're not the best in the world. Duh, that's pretty much a given. I think me and a coffee connoisseur from a different country, say Australia. I'm going to pick on Australians. They're awesome. They make up a lot of this group watching this video, I'm sure. And they love their coffee. So let's say an Australian says, hell no, your franchise coffees are terrible. Okay, we both agree on that. We're not even going to fight on that. But what they don't know maybe are some local things. So they might know more about really awesome coffees, maybe more than me. I'll give them that. But I feel like saying the blanket statement, American coffee is horrible, which I've seen in my comments before, I think that's a little too much of a blanket statement. I think that's too general. It's too harsh. Yeah, there might be some really bad ones, multiple companies, multiple franchises. I'll give you that. But what about some local ones they don't know about? I think they're wrong. Because for a while there, I got off, like I wasn't doing local scene things. And then when we lived, remember, we just got back to Chicago area. So for 9 months, we were down in New Mexico. In Las Cruces, New Mexico, there were some excellent abundance of local coffee shops and cafes. And I tell you what, I not even tried all of them. I feel ashamed, but I tried a lot of them, and they were so good. So good. Shout out to Picacho Roasters in Las Cruces. Amazing. Milagro Coffee. Great stuff. The Bean at Josefina's. Great stuff. There's more, but those coffees were very, very good. I felt like they were very high quality. Again, I'm not a coffee connoisseur, but they were significantly different and well above, in my perception, than a Starbucks, than a Dunkin' Donuts, whatever. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents. What do you guys think of that? Let's continue on.
This one tastes kind of like a little bit of the acrid one, a little bit of the balanced one, so maybe it's the Goldilocks one. I don't know.
Is this the same one as the first one?
No. This one tastes the most like water, which means I like it the most.
I think this one tastes the best. Does that mean this is the right one? Am I right? I am right. All right.
When people drink a cup of coffee, they're not thinking, wow, the aroma, like they're not focusing on those components of the coffee. They're focusing on whether or not they can actually drink the cup of coffee. And so what they do is they add milk and they add tons of sugar and they add all these other things to make it taste like what they believe coffee is supposed to taste like.
From the wars to
Yeah, and that's a good point. I think I think everyone knows that. I know.
For me, I'm okay with that because street cart coffee hits the spot.
There you go.
But for others, it might not be the case.
Well, there you go. I am looking forward to seeing the comments on this one. So please leave your thoughts, your agreements, your disagreements down there. And tell me where you're watching this from and if the coffee near you is excellent, if it's grade A, or if it's just so-so, or if it's really, really bad. And what makes it that way in your eyes? If you think you have the best coffee around you, tell me why. Why is that true? Why is it the best? This is going to be fun to see. I appreciate you guys watching. Please leave a like, a thumbs up on this video if you did enjoy it and are eager to comment on it. You know, it will help the video out. And of course, you can subscribe to join our amazing community we have here and never miss a fun video like this again. Check the description for this original video so you can watch it uninterrupted. And of course, other ways you can interact with me. Remember, the Discord is down there. The P.O. Box as well as the thanks button is active now. So check that out if you would like to support the channel further. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. And I tell you what, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Catch you later.